Good day, everybody. Good day. Back again. RJ Horner here in Live and Love Life. And we continue our wealth study with readings from The Science of Getting Rich, Attracting Financial Success Through Creative Thought. This is the 1910 version written from Wallace D. Wattles. And again, I'm doing this for a dual purpose. I want to build wealth. I'm excited, even from all the things I've learned so far. It's got me at a higher energy level. I'm imagining the life I want to live. And that's the entire purpose of this program, is to help us build a life we love to live. So here I am back again on day 10 in our wealth study, and we're studying The Science of Getting Rich, chapter 9. Use the will. To set about getting rich in a scientific way, you do not try to apply your willpower to anything outside of yourself. You have no right to do so anyway. It is wrong to apply your will to other men and women in order to get them to do what you wish done. It is as flagrantly wrong to coerce people by mental power as it is to coerce them by physical power. If compelling people by physical force to do things for you reduces them to slavery, compelling them by mental means accomplishes exactly the same thing. The only difference is in the methods. If taking things from people by physical force is robbery, then taking things by mental force is also robbery. In principle, there is no difference. You have no right to use your willpower on another person, even for his own good, because you do not know what is for his good. The science of getting rich does not require you to apply power of force to any other person in any way whatsoever. There is not the slightest necessity for doing so. Indeed, any attempt to use your will upon others will tend to defeat the purpose. You do not need to apply your will to things for them to come to you. That will simply be trying to coerce God and would be foolish and useless as well as irreverent. You do not have to compel God to give you good things, any more than you have to use your willpower to make the sun rise. You do not have to use your willpower to conquer an unfriendly deity or to make stubborn and rebellious forces do your bidding. The thinking substance is friendly to you and is more anxious to give you what you want than you are to get it. To get rich, you need only to use your willpower upon yourself. When you know what to think and do, you must use your will to compel yourself to think and do the right things. That is the legitimate use of the will in getting what you want. To use it in holding yourself to the right course. Use your will to keep yourself thinking and acting in a certain way. Do not try to protect your will or your thoughts or your mind out into space. Let's try that again. Do not try to project your will or your thoughts or your mind out into space to act on things or people. Keep your mind at home. It can accomplish more there than anywhere else. Use your mind to form a mental image of what you want and to hold that vision with faith and purpose. Use your will to keep your mind working the right way. The more steady and continuous your faith and purpose, the more rapidly you will get rich, because you will make only positive impressions upon formless substance. You will not neutralize or offset them by negative impressions. The formless substance receives a picture of your desires and allows this picture to penetrate it to great distances, perhaps throughout the entire universe. And this impression spreads. All things are set moving towards its realization. Every living thing, every inanimate things, and the things yet uncreated are stirred towards bringing into being that which you want. All force begins to be exerted in that direction. All things begin to move toward you. The minds of people everywhere are influenced toward doing the things necessary to fulfilling your desires. And they work for you unconsciously. But you can check all this by starting a negative impression into the formless substance. Doubt or unbelief is as certain to start a movement away from you as faith and purpose are to start one towards you. By not understanding this, most people fail when they try to make use of mental science to get rich. Every hour and moment you spend in giving heed to doubts and fears, every hour you spend in worry, Every hour in which your soul is possessed by unbelief sets a current away from you through the whole domain of the intelligent substance. All the promises are unto them that believe, and unto them. Notice how insistent Jesus was upon this point of belief. Now you know the reason why. Since belief is all important, it moves you to guard your thoughts. And as your beliefs will be shaped to a very great extent by the things you observe and think about, it's important that you focus your attention. Here the will comes into use, because by means of your will, you determine the objects of your intention. If you want to become rich, you must not make a study of poverty. Things are not brought into being by thinking about their opposites. Health is never to be attained by studying disease and thinking about disease. Righteousness is not to be promoted by studying sin and thinking about sin. And no one ever got rich by studying poverty and thinking about poverty. Medicine as a science of disease has increased disease. Religion as a science of sin has promoted sin. And economics as a study of poverty will fill the world with wretchedness and want. Do not talk about poverty. Do not investigate it or concern yourself with it. Never mind what its causes are. You have nothing to do with them. What concerns you is the cure. Do not spend your time in charitable work or charity movements. All charity only tends to perpetuate the wretchedness it aims to eradicate. I do not say that you should be hard-hearted or unkind and refuse to hear the cry of need. But you must not try to eradicate poverty in any of the conventional ways. Put poverty behind you, put all that pertains to it behind you, and make good. You cannot hold the mental image which is necessary to make you rich if you fill your mind with pictures of poverty. Do not read books or papers which give accounts of the wretchedness and the tenement dwellers. Do not read books or papers which give accounts of the wretchedness of the tenement dwellers or of the horrors of child labor. Do not read anything which fills your mind with gloomy images of want and suffering. You cannot help the poor in the least by knowing about these things. The widespread knowledge of the circumstances of the poor does not tend at all to do away with poverty. What tends to do away with poverty is not getting pictures of poverty in your mind, but getting pictures of wealth into the minds of the poor. You are not deserting the poor in their misery when you refuse to allow your mind to be filled with pictures of that misery. Poverty can be done away with, not by increasing the number of well-to-do people who think about poverty, but by increasing the number of poor people who succeed in getting rich through the exercise of faith and purpose. The poor do not need charity. They need inspiration. Charity only sends them a loaf of bread to keep them alive in their wretchedness, or gives them an entertainment to make them forget for an hour or two. But inspiration will cause them to rise out of their misery. If you want to help the poor, demonstrate to them that they can become rich. Prove it by getting rich yourself. Get rich. This is the best way that you can help the poor. The only way in which poverty will ever be banished from this world is by getting a large and constantly increasing number of people to practice the teachings of this book. People must be taught to become rich by creation, not by competition. Every person who becomes rich by competition kicks down the ladder by which he rises and keeps others down. But every person who gets rich by creation opens a way for thousands to follow him and inspires them to do so. You are not showing hardness of heart or an unfeeling disposition when you refuse to pity poverty or to think or talk about it or listen to those who do talk about it. Use your willpower to keep your mind off the subject of poverty and to keep your mind fixed with faith and purpose on the vision of what you want. That's our reading today. And I think, again, we had another powerful lesson because, again, as much as we want that image of the good things that we want in our life, we have to imagine us having that life right now. Again, I've told you that I've experienced debt, a lot of debt in my life, and I built that debt on my own. Nobody helped me do it. Well, my wife helped me. Together we've built our debt. But I'm the one who put myself there. And because we constantly focus on debt, because we constantly focus on these bills and what we owe, we get more of that. We keep building that up instead of thinking about the wealth that we want or thinking about the wealth that is to come and the riches that we deserve. Instead of focusing on that and bringing about the possibility that they'll come to us, we focus on the debt. And then, of course, we get more of that according to this lesson, which is reasonable. Now, it's hard-hearted in this book to say that the poor don't deserve our charity and that we help them more by inspiring them. I think that's the message here. Look, I'm inspired to get rich. I'm inspired to teach as many people as I can and help them along the way to get rich. Now, I'm not rich as of yet. But again, I've taken some steps that are implemented in this book. I've started to remove the debt from my life. And we've almost got everything done to relieve that and to get past that so that our thoughts are not focused on the debt that exists in our life. That was step one. We had to eliminate that. We had to remove it as a possibility, as an option. And by doing so, we are now ready to take the next steps. I've told my wife, again, on my birthday, I told her, listen, I want us to be wealthy. I want us to have the life we enjoy. And we're going to do that together. So this is one of the steps. We needed to remove our debt, but now we're going to start working together. She's going to join me in building some real estate portfolio together. She doesn't join me here in Live and Love Life. That's my platform, my premise, my business. But the whole point of it is to help others build a better life as we build a better life, as I build a life I love to live. And I'm doing that. Making it available to you, I'm helping to carry that forward. I'm helping to inspire people to live a better life. Through Sunil and Cora, again, they're the authors of a new version of this book. And through them, I've learned so much about wealth and being rich and being inspired to be rich. So I'm working that, or I'm going to meet next year, Grant Cardone, but I've been following him. And what he preaches is we don't help people by feeding them, by giving them things freely. Nothing in life that we get for free is ever cherished. We have to work on it. We have to put effort forward. And he preaches getting rich. He preaches putting your money into real estate or putting it into different projects he believes investing in business because he believes in helping to build people up and helping to build other people's wealth and inspiring them to do so, not just giving them a handout. In fact, one of his conditions of borrowing money is you have to pay me back within this specific time. And if you don't, I'm never going to lend you money again. So there's motivation there to try and succeed and to build up your fortune. That's the whole point of this, is to try and inspire others. So I'm here to inspire. I'm also learning about the science of getting rich. And I want you to do so as well. That's the whole point of Live and Love Life, is to help people build the life you love to live. And you can't have that life without money. That's a proven fact. If you don't believe that, I don't know where you're living, because anything we want to enjoy, anywhere we want to go, anything we want to do, in fact, the clothes on our back, the food on our table, and the roof over our head all cost money. So it costs money to live. And why not have as much money as possible to live a life you love? That's our message today. I'm going to try and keep them shorter, but I want you to understand that the life you want to live is out there, but it's up to you to go out there and get it. It's up to you to put a plan of action into place. Removing my debt was one step of the plan. Now it's time to focus on sales and income and building that wealth. I have the creative thought. I have the work or the jobs I want to do in order to make that happen. So I'm taking my steps. I'm hopefully inspiring you to do so as well. And I want you to build a life you love to live. Please visit our website, www.live-love-life.ca. www.live-love-ca/SOGR for more on the science of getting rich. That's www.live-love-ca/SOGR. That's our reading for today. That's our study. Please join us again tomorrow while we continue the science of getting rich and our wealth study. I'm RJ Horner for Live and Love Life. Better days ahead.